Okay, let's get into this. We're looking at May 14th, 2025. That's the date we're focusing on today. Stepping right into the courtroom scene with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. His defense team, led by Kanu AGABI, is front and center. We're aiming to really unpack the cross-examination of a key witness, pull out the moments that matter.
Exactly. We're not getting lost in the weeds with legal jargon, promise. We've got parts of the official court proceedings from that day, specifically the cross-examination bits. Think of it as getting a direct look at, well, potentially crucial exchanges. What did they actually say? What might it mean for the case? Our goal here is really to understand the key questions, the answers, and what light this specific session sheds on Kanu's detention and the charges against him.
Right. So picture this. The court's in session, AGABI's team is there, and they call witness BDB to the stand. Almost straight away, this witness brings up a medical report. It's about Ahmed Gulek's death. Now, the details of that report aren't our focus here, but it sets the scene before the cross-examination really kicks off.
And that cross-examination, well, it gets interesting fast. The defense, AGABI, immediately asks about a video statement, one apparently obtained from Kanu. AGABI asks, okay, who's visible in this video? Just Kanu and his lawyers. The witness says yes, confirms that.
Okay.
But then AGABI pushes. Was the video complete? Could you see the people doing the interviewing? Were they masked? And the witness, they basically say they can't recall.
Can't recall. That seems significant, doesn't it, about who was conducting an official interview?
It really does. I mean, that lack of recall, even on something seemingly basic like who was physically present or if they were masked, it could be important. It potentially flags issues around, transparency, maybe even the conditions under which the statement was taken. Could the defense use this? Possibly.
Yeah, it definitely makes you wonder about the whole process. If you don't remember who was interviewing or if they were masked, what were the circumstances?
Exactly. Accountability, right. Who was responsible for that interview? It makes it a bit murky.
So then the defense shifts gears. They start asking about detention. How long was Kanu held before this video was even made? AGABI puts the question out there, and witness BBB's answer is, well, it's quite something. They say, I don't know. I'm not aware of his long detention, my lord. But then right after saying they're unaware of a long detention, they add, defendant has been kept alone in cell all by himself.
Hold on. So unaware of a long detention, but aware he was kept alone.
Precisely. That's the contradiction that jumps out.
Which leads straight into the solitary confinement issue. AGABI picks up on that kept alone part. He points out, look, solitary confinement isn't just being alone, it's considered a punishment. Was Kanu put there because he was a danger?
And how does the witness respond to that?
They double down. I'm not aware he was in solitary confinement. So they admit he was alone, but deny knowing if it qualified as, actual solitary confinement legally.
It sounds like playing with words, almost.
It does seem that way. And AGABI then brings in international standards. He mentions the UN law, the one setting a maximum of, 15 days for solitary confinement. The witness actually agrees, yes, that's the standard.
Okay, so they know the rule.
They know the rule.
Yeah.
But AGABI then asserts his client was held much longer than that, creating this direct clash between the acknowledged standard and the witness's claimed ignorance about the actual situation.
And the defense keeps pushing on this theme of detention. They suggest Kanu is unhappy precisely because of this long detention. Witness BBB. Again, am not aware.
It's becoming a pattern, isn't it?
Definitely. Then AGABI drops a bigger number. He claims Kanu's been detained for 4 years even after that video interview was done, saying this long period led to more unhappiness, frustration, and the witness...
Let me guess. I am not aware.
You got it. I am not aware. This wall of unknowing regarding the defendant's condition, the length of stay, it's consistent.
And it raises fundamental questions, right? If you're detaining someone, especially for potentially years, you need a legal basis. So AGABI asks directly, was this lengthy detention based on a court order? The answer, I don't know, my lord.
Wow. I don't know if there was even a court order for years of detention.
Seems to be the claim. Then AGABI takes it back further, says Kanu was initially arrested way back in 2015. And witness BBB says, well, they weren't part of that investigation. So again, unaware. It's like trying to piece together a puzzle when a key figure says they don't know where half the pieces are.
So this I don't know defense, it continues when AGABI turns to the actual charges.
Absolutely. AGABI asks if the witness knows some charges were dropped. Nope, unaware. Unaware of drop charges, unaware of previous charges, unaware of amendments to the charges. It's a clean sweep of claimed ignorance.
Even when AGABI gets specific, he mentioned charges being amended just 6 days after the arrest, or maybe kidnapping, as he put it, and pending for 6 years.
Still unaware, According to the witness, it's quite striking for someone involved, even just for the video statement, to profess such a complete lack of knowledge about the case's history and status.
It really makes you question the scope of their involvement, doesn't it? Or maybe what they were told to be involved in.
That's a fair question. AGABI tried another tack. Did the witness learn about the case from a specific letter? No. Okay, well, before getting directives from their office, did they know about the case at all? Response: I don't know, my lord.
It's just relentless. What about the Attorney General? AGABI asked about a letter from the AGF raising complaints. Did the witness's office respond?
You guessed it. I don't know, my lord. Just a complete blank on these points.
So where does that leave the actual investigation presented, if the witness knows so little?
Well, AGABI basically asserts the only investigation done, or at least presented, was that video interview. The witness initially disagrees, says no, there are other documents, but then admits they're back in the office. And apparently, this admission caused some laughter in the courtroom. You can kind of picture that moment, right?
Yeah, a bit awkward. It suggests maybe the investigation evidence brought to the court wasn't exhaustive, or perhaps just poorly presented through this witness.
Could be either. Then AGABI links it back to the AGF. He suggests charges were amended again after those directives came from the AGF's office.
Trying to imply influence.
Seems like it. The witness responds by saying they're just an investigator. Didn't know the charge contents. But interestingly, they do confirm a report was issued after getting those AGF directives.
Okay, so a report exists, but did the charges change?
AGABI asserts they didn't change, despite the directives in the report. The witness naturally claims not to know how that could be.
Which leads to the direct question.
Yep. AGABI puts it plainly, were you influenced by the AGS letter? The witness denies it. A flat denial is that moment of direct accusation versus denial.
Okay, so after all that back and forth on detention, charges, potential influence, the questioning shifts.
Yeah, kind of abruptly, it seems. AGABI starts asking about Emoticon, the vigilante group formed by Southwest governors. The witness says, yes, they're aware of Emoticon's formation.
Right, and the connection is?
Well, AGABI then asks if the AGF sent a letter complaining about that, about alleged killings by them. The witness just reiterates, yes, they know Emoticon was formed. It feels like AGABI might be trying to draw a parallel or perhaps contrast the government's reaction to different security groups or situations. It's not entirely clear from just this bit.
Interesting angle. It sort of broadens the context beyond Kanu'S specific case for a moment there.
Definitely. So wrapping this specific exchange up, what are the big things for you, the listener, to take away? I think it's primarily those repeated I don't know answers from witness BBB on really crucial stuff. Detention length, solitary confinement, the history of the charges. All this despite their confirmed role in getting that video statement.
Yeah, the aha moment, if you can call it that, is the sheer consistency of that claimed ignorance. Does it point to maybe an investigation that wasn't very deep, or someone deliberately keeping things vague? Or was this witness just, very narrowly involved? It paints a picture of a witness who seems oddly detached from the core facts of a major case they participated in. So you definitely get a feel for the dynamics in that courtroom and the big questions hanging in the air.
And that leads to the thought we want to leave you with. Why? Why would a witness in such a high-profile case claim ignorance so consistently? Think about the possible reasons. Is it strategy? Is it genuine lack of knowledge? What could the implications be for the trial, for justice? It really highlights the complexity behind courtroom testimony.
Absolutely. There's clearly a lot beneath the surface here. If this deep dive has got you thinking, we definitely encourage you to look for more reporting and analysis on this ongoing case. It's far from over.